So I believe the video that you're about to see truly has the potential to change your life. And that's not something I say lightly. You can check out the other videos on my channel. This is not something I say before every video, but with this one, I truly believe it. Now, this can only happen if you actually make the time for it. It's a longer video. You engage with the video. There's even going to be exercises in the end that you can apply. And I believe that if you do that, if you commit to this and truly, you get out of it what you put into it, okay? So if you truly engage with this, I believe that this is going to change how you show up in any social interaction that you have forever, okay? Whether that's dating, networking, whether you're trying to get clients for your business, whether you're trying to speak in front of people, really, whatever it is, this is going to change everything because it's going to help you step into your most authentic version, which in the end of the day is the version that yields the best results for you, the ones that you truly desire, okay? So sit through this. I encourage you to make this commitment. You're not going to regret it. This is going to be really good. The beginning is a little bit weird because I thought I would put another clip in front of it, a different one. Now we're actually in the Sahara Desert. I shot the video in front of an Egyptian temple, so enjoy it. Sit through the entire thing. I'm gonna change your life here, okay? And I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so we actually switched temples here because on the last one, my battery ran out, but for now, you actually have this beautiful phallic symbol in the background. I just had to do that, I'm sorry. No way I see a stone dick symbol and I don't do that in a video. Okay, anyway, but now we're actually in front of Luxor Temple, and I want to go deeper on the idea that I already went into in the last clip. So we ended that one with the whole idea that, I mean, it kind of goes into the same direction as the last video even, but it's really the idea of listening to yourself instead of listening to other people all the time and being pulled around by all of these different influences that might be in your head, okay? So what I wanted to go into, or what I actually went into in the clip before, is that you have all of these different voices nowadays, literally in your pocket, that want to sell you on their agenda. It might literally be people that just want to sell you something. It might just be people generally on social media that want you to watch their content, which could also be me, okay? So you want to be very discerning here, even if you watch my stuff, because I'm certainly not perfect, and I might even get into weird modes. I've gotten into weird modes before in my life where I made content from a very bad place, and it would have probably been better for people not to listen to that. So always have your own discernment when it comes to any of this, which is really the key. But nowadays it gets so crazy that literally in any moment you just walk around with a device in your pocket that you can pull out and instantly flash in your face all of these different agendas. And this might be people that are malevolent, this might be people that are benevolent, but it's really important that you learn to discern that. And funny enough, I actually had kind of a lesson yesterday, which is trippy, and I want to go into this right now, all right? And I believe that this lesson kind of really illustrates this whole thing, and it also illustrates the quote from the Bible, from the Sermon on the Mount of Jesus, which is funny because like I'm literally trying to make myself look like Jesus as much as possible at the moment, so quoting Jesus here. But you remember the quote in the Sermon on the Mount, and if you've never read that, I really recommend you to read it. I wouldn't say I'm a Christian, but that text is just amazing, all right, like incredible. So what he says is that you should watch out for false prophets. And what he also says is they will come to you in sheep's clothing, and that you will recognize them by their fruits. Now, what I had yesterday is that, let's just say I met, we gotta keep it PC here, okay? Let's just say I met an attractive person at a restaurant yesterday, okay? And this person, and you might have met somebody like this before, but you know when somebody is into meditation, or generally maybe a bit more spiritual, they get this kind of look in their eyes that's, it's soft and it's kind of a twinkle in their eye. And from the surface, this person kind of looked like that. And the moment that we started talking, the moment that we kind of sat down together and started talking, that person immediately started going into the universe and past lives and how that person is from Sirius, okay? You can can't specify the gender, how that person is from Sirius, and even telling me that I might be a very old soul, or I don't fucking know, right? But telling me that, and really going into these very spiritual topics, and even she had this kind of look in her eyes of somebody that did a lot of work on spirituality. However, the more we talked and the more we kind of got into that conversation, it started kind of getting weirder and weirder in a sense. And in a sense that she started saying some things that were really a little bit weird. And at the same time, also, and this is not on me to judge, but while she was saying all of these things, all of these beautiful spiritual concepts that she was spewing, she was smoking down like tobacco and weed and drinking alcohol, like drinking wine non-stop. Okay, and she actually tried to sell me on the fact that getting drunk and high is amazing. And she also said that person, I'm already fucking specifying anyway, but that person also told me about how they went out to party and did cocaine, did all of this crazy stuff, okay? Doing all of this very, very hurtful, if you think about it, really, really dark stuff. And it's true that it's not on me to judge here because I have my own shit. Like I would say I'm probably addicted to sugar at the moment. Right? That's like my one thing I want to kick. All right, so I don't even know if I want to kick it at the moment, but it's like my one addiction. Okay, like chocolate and milk, my one addiction, the only one. But so it's not on me to judge, but still. Whenever you see somebody, and this is where it started, where I always kind of get this iffy feeling, and this is really the key that I want to bring to you here, and kind of going deeper on this whole topic of trusting your own intuition, trusting that really a good word for it, I believe, is your inner God. I believe some forms of CBT, of cognitive behavioral therapy, not an expert on that, but I believe some forms of that call the voice that you have within yourself. When you strip all of the voices around you, or all of the voices that were put into you, they call it interjects, right? It might be your dad's voice, or other people that socially conditioned you, your parents, your teachers, people that you looked up to, whatever it is. Whenever you take that all out, okay, like you move all of the bullshit out that's not authentic, that's not actually you, what you're left with is what they call your inner God, okay? And that is really the part of you that's the most authentic and that really knows what's best to you, what's best for you. So again, this whole topic is really extrapolating on this whole idea of connecting to your inner God. In the end of the day, if you don't resonate with that type of lingo, you can just call it the real you, okay? Like your most authentic version. The part of you that already knows what's best for you. And really there, whenever somebody starts spewing these very spiritual topics but seems to not be living up to them, I get a bit of an iffy feeling. And I started getting that feeling in that moment, and I was just like, let's just see where this goes. Because still, even though I got that, I also felt a sense of attraction for the person. Let's just call it that, okay? Attractive person. So I felt that still in that moment, but I like to be careful with who I engage with energetically, intimately. I like to be very careful with that. Might even be the resistance with that actually kind of led to that scenario, right? Kind of the resistance towards engaging with anybody that's maybe a little bit down, or very down. But now, in any case, I felt the attraction, but I was just like, okay, let's see how this goes. I'm just gonna trust my intuition. I'm gonna stay here. This is interesting no matter what, for the lesson or for the cool experience. Let's just see where this goes, okay? And it started getting really weird, and my how do you call that? My intuition started getting proven right towards the end of that interaction. And towards the end of that interaction, that person told me about how every person that they got intimate with so far just kind of felt like a vampire that was trying to take something from them, and that now they would want somebody else's, they call it light, because sexual energy, they said, is the most powerful energy. And there's definitely a great argument for that, and it's probably true, but I'm not the expert on that specifically, but there's probably a lot of truth to it, okay? I could imagine, at least, just from what it feels. But that statement there really kind of gave me the breaking point, because, led to the decision to not take things further. Because who would call other people, and this is kind of funny because I'm doing it right now, so something to reflect on maybe, but who would call somebody else a vampire, or somebody that wants to take energy from them? Who is in the mode that everybody just wants to take energy from them? Probably somebody that takes energy from other people. And the thing that, the specific phrase that really did it to me was the whole saying of like, the whole thing they said of, I just want other people's light now. I just want somebody to give me their light. That's how they said it, right? Again, like this weird spiritual lingo that some people, I believe, are like, they can use it, right? And they're actually living up to it. But most people that use it probably aren't living up to that shit. That's just my intuition, right? I don't know. And like, I'm very, I might be faulty in something as well, 100%. But that's just the feeling that I got with that person. And that really did it to me. And I was like, okay, this is like, no, this is not going to happen. And I actually went home then. And funny enough, still going home, I kind of felt, was this the right decision? Or am I just getting paranoid? And then coming back home and sitting down, I just came across a video, or I got an intuition to watch a video that I already watched before, which was specifically on discerning higher energies from lower energies. Right, again, this is a very, very like woo-woo friggin' topic, and which you can have your own opinion on. I don't even know what I personally think about this, but these experiences really make me think that there's probably a lot of truth to it. So I watched that video, and funny enough, the exact characteristics that were shown in that person that I was talking to were described in that video as the characteristics of what you would maybe call a demonic or a negative entity. Now, I don't even want to label that person that way, because probably like nobody is probably a full demon, right? Like probably not, all right? Like this, like there might be some entities attached if you believe in that, or maybe it's just stuff psychologically, whatever. It doesn't really matter because the end result is the same. Okay, the end result is still just some weird stuff happening that you probably don't really want to engage with. But the exact characteristics got described, and in that moment, it really felt like there was something moving out of my body. And it was kind of like you ever have this moment where it feels like you've been in a dark cloud and the clouds part, and you actually feel what you used to feel like before you got into this weird mode? And I kind of had that moment. And in that moment, I was like, wow. Was I just hypnotized by a vampire? Like, was I just hypnotized into some dark stuff, but didn't engage with it and then got snapped out? And this might or might not be true, right? Again, like this is kind of also up to your own discernment, whatever it is for you, right? Whatever resonates with you. Even if you're somebody that doesn't resonate with this stuff at all, totally fair. Like I was literally you, okay? Like science was my religion. I didn't think anything out of that was possible. So 100%. But in that case, the same principles still apply, right? There's just some people that are kind of, I guess, like that you necessarily don't want to engage with, and you still want to learn the discernment of that, okay? What do you want to engage with? What do you not want to engage with? Because in the end of the day, what really happens is that, say you engage with something like that, because it's not just people, it can be people, but everything that you put into yourself, content that you consume on social media, the foods that you eat, sugar, right? It's like my main thing that I'm aware of. It might even be some stuff that I'm not aware of, right? That's why it's key to get coaching, by the way, because people that come in from the outside and maybe even can have that higher viewpoint and kind of look down into your life and be like, hey, you're doing this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, and kind of tell you how to go into the right direction. Very powerful. I do that all the time. I love it. I always would recommend having also people around you that are on the same trajectory, okay, that have the same goals as you, that are in general moving into the same direction as you, which if you're still watching this, probably it's on the upward direction. Might be. Maybe I'm doing kind of the downward thing unconsciously. Maybe I'm possessed, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, okay? I guess we'll see by the fruits of my actions what really happens. But yeah. So bringing it back, it's about cultivating that and really cultivating this intuition that you already have. You already know what you should be doing. You already know what you should engage with, what you shouldn't engage with, and really getting clear on that, and then becoming discerning of what you want to let into yourself and what you don't want to let into yourself. Because say you engage with something that's toxic, that might be a person that might be just food, that might be content on social media, and then TikTok, oh my god, 10 seconds, underage girl shaking her ass, wow, this is so entertaining, I definitely want to support this. you want to support that. Okay, that's on you, but it's really to discern, what do you want to let in? Do you want to make these small deals with the devil? And that's not to say that you have to be perfect all the time, right? I'm certainly not. And it's fun to do some things sometimes that are maybe a little bit, that actually hurt your body, right? But even there, you could say that which part of you finds that fun? Is that the part of you that wants to go up? Up? Or is that the part of you that wants to go down? Oh my god. What part is that? And you already know it. That's why I'm also shutting up here. Essentially just to get you connected to your presence, which in the end of the day is a state from which that knowing comes. If you simply learn how to switch off your mind, doesn't even have to be completely, but just learn to get present more and more and more and more. Meaning you don't have all of these voices in your head all the time, where they might even be coming at you, but you can stay centered in that. When you reach that place, that's where you know. And it's already within you. And really why I personally believe that this is so important for anybody in the end of the day is that if you engage with something toxic, you're not just losing out on that one experience that you could have not had, and you won't just feel down for that evening or even for the day after. Say you drink, okay, let's just take that. Personally, never drink, okay, never use drugs, whatever. Again, like, have your vice, I don't care. But let's just take that as an example, okay? You feel kind of insecure. You go into a social environment, you want to have fun. Okay, you want to have fun, right? Even what? The fact that fun nowadays is just called drinking, has it ever occurred to you that that's maybe a little bit crazy? That ever occurred? Isn't that insane? But in any case, you're a little bit stifled and you don't really know what to do. Watch this channel, okay? That's what it's all about. But you're a little bit stifled. You go into that environment and you want to just loosen up. Okay, so what do? You start drinking. You start literally poisoning your brain in order to stop feeling the anxiety. And what happens is that you feel kind of good for a second, okay? You maybe feel even good for the entire evening. If you overdo it, even there crazy stuff happens, because what you will see oftentimes, and I don't know if you've seen this, I've certainly observed this, because like the whole alcohol thing is like, it's insane. I literally did experiments on this and like observe people and how they behave when they're on it. If you even go too deep into that, and especially when you're trying to numb pain, at some point when you damage yourself so much, what you will find from my experience, again, like whatever your experience is, you can even see this for yourself, but from my experience, the pain actually comes up 10 times stronger. The pain that you felt before, that you're trying to numb with the toxic thing, actually comes up 10 times stronger. Thank you. I like your hair. People are giving me props. The pain that you tried to numb comes up 10 times stronger. And in the end of the day, what that is, it's literally like a demon trying to penetrate you. And again, I don't know if this is actually the truth. It might be, it might not be, it might just be psychological. But it's like that energy trying to penetrate you. You have a protection shield around you. You're blowing it out with toxins. And then it comes in. And what do you have the day after? You even got a hangover. Isn't that interesting? Right? What is the deal with the devil? You get something that feels really good on the front end. Feels really good, right? Oh yeah, the sugar, right? Even me, the sugar, the alcohol, Just smoke down that weed, yeah. Come on, smoke that cigarette, yeah. Feels good, right? Feels good. But what's the payoff? What do you get long term? Are you moving up or are you moving down? And then even going deeper, what do you lose on that day? That you have a hangover. What do you lose out on? You lose out on the work that you could have been doing, right? The business that you could have been building. Maybe that would have been the day that if you hadn't drank the night before, and instead maybe you watch a video on self-improvement, or you do a little bit of trauma release or a bit of meditation, and you actually fix your confidence instead of trying to drink it in and just kind of give you the mask of confidence. Maybe you do that, and then the next day you meet the spouse, the mother or father of your future children. Especially because you didn't drink. Or you can drink and then just stay dead for that day. Or you could come out to an Egyptian temple and dick around like a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I don't know, and not even know what day it is. Okay, you could do that and find a system to still get paid doing it. Or you can pump down go ahead, pump down alcohol. Go ahead. Amazing, right? Great for you. Feels really good, right? But what feels better in the long run? You know. You know. So, I hope that this video kind of, again, reminded you of that. That you already know what's best for you. You already know. And to stop focusing on all of these outside influences, funny enough, you even saw me right here kind of getting pulled around by an outside influence of somebody. It was a positive one. The guy was just, actually he had long hair and he was giving me props. So that was really cool. But even then, the part of me that still hurts kind of was like, oh my God, I'm getting props. This is so good. This is so good. Oh my God, what if I don't get props? That is another one. Addiction to validation, which can really, 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 really mess you up. And that, by the way, is what can also mess society up on a big scale. Okay, because in the end of the day, what do you see when you look at something? I'm from Germany, okay? What did we do? Not we, but what did our country do? What did that country do in 1933? What happened? Very dark forces penetrated, whatever that is. If you just call it mental illness, or maybe it's a demon, right? I don't know. I have another video on that. But dark forces penetrated the top of that country. And because people weren't grounded in their own reality, and they weren't listening to what was actually right, to what they knew was the right thing to do, not following, maybe don't go kill 6 million Jews. Maybe that's the right thing to do. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that would have been better. I'm not sure. Right? Like, maybe don't do that. What did they do? Because of the fear of getting kicked out of the tribe, which in the end of the day is the same fear as dying. It's the exact same thing. It's just in us, evolutionarily. Whether that's actually getting shot or dying, or just the feeling of getting disapproved of in that way, it doesn't matter. It's the same feeling. They went with that because largely people don't actually confront this. People don't actually confront their own death. People never actually go into what's running them. and really trying to, again, move out all of the voices that are not your own, on connecting to your true authenticity. And because of that, what happens, something very dark can penetrate at the top and just get all of these nice people to do really, 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 really bad stuff. And this might happen in the future again. We saw it in 2020. It was the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. And you just did it, right? You wore the thing. I did for the beginning. Just in the very end, I dropped it. Then I got the courage, by the way, through a coach. That's why coaching again and having somebody that's kind of, even like the whole, I'm at a higher level than you, I don't even like it, but somebody that's at a different level that you would like to get to, right? Because again, it's on you where you want to go. But that is at a level that you would like to get to and kind of have them come in and really help you. That's what I did, and through that person's help, and this is just like the very, like that is just one representation. Like my entire life changed just from that, okay? Like from working with that coach, my entire life, okay? And that dropping that was just a representation of the inner shift that I made, and that also changed all of the other areas of my life, okay? Like literally all of them. So forever grateful to him. But that's why it can be so important to get somebody that is at a level that you want to get to really come in and look at your situation and help you, okay? Because we kind of know where to push if we've been in the same situation as you, and usually people that you resonate with, and again, this is like people that you resonate with, this is just your feeling, okay? Again, like I can tell you who to go with. Might be me, might be somebody else, I don't know. It's just trust your own intuition who you should go with. But it can be very, very, very beneficial to have somebody come in and really help you out of that state that you're in and get to the level that you want to get to, okay? And this also happened to me, right? For example, in 2020, and that's when it was actually at that point 2021, and then I also left the country, funny enough, to a country where it was a lot more free. And it was also just a representation of the shift that I made inside of myself. Not caring about approval as much anymore. Funny enough, comparing myself right now to back then, I was still very addicted to approval, but still made very, very, very good strides with that. Okay? Even I did it. And I had worked on this specific area, on my confidence, for like 4 years at that point. Like 4 years of work, and I still fell into it. So how fucked are we in the future if we don't collectively work on this? If this is not something that gets taught in schools, if this is, and I mean, even probably a new system has to be created, because I mean, the old system is kind of centrally run, at least how it looks like, right? Also not specifically an expert on that one. But if we don't have a mass education on this, we're kind of screwed, okay? Like, at least that's how I feel like. Because that energy doesn't stop. You're aware of that, right? Like, that energy wants to get more and more and more and more because it's disconnected from God and feels like it has to get energy in the physical in order to stay alive. It actually has to get energy in the physical in order to stay alive because they've cut themselves off from the actual flow of life. And again, we're getting very, very esoteric here, and this is key that you take what resonates with you and what doesn't. Again, trust yourself, not me. Just because I have long hair and the beard doesn't mean that I have the answers. Not at all. I'm just kind of talking. Like, literally, I'm just kind of talking, okay? So trust yourself. But this is what I see, at least. And I've also talked to friends of mine and they see the same. Which might also be a bias, by the way, because we always tend to flock to the people that reinforce our belief systems. And you also do this online. We all do it. This is all I believe it's self-selection bias. So groups that have similar opinions flock together. Birds of the same feather flock together. Very true everywhere, right? You see that in online communities, right? That all have this one way of viewing things, right? Maybe people that think they could never get an intimate partner, right? And that's just their truth. And they believe because they don't have the chiseled jaw and they don't look like the Giga Chad, they can never get a partner. And because of that, that's actually true for them. Crazy, right? And if you're not in that mode, looking in, that is insane. Like, that actually seems insane to you, looking in, if you're not in that mode. But for them, it's real. For them, it's completely real. Where are you doing that? Where am I doing that? Right? We're all doing it to some extent. So that could even be something there. But just from what I've seen, this is what happens, okay? Again, your thing, okay? If are the elites really cut off from God and have to feed on your energy? I don't know, maybe, right? Like, come up with your own opinion. This is just kind of the feeling that I get. And really, in the end of the day, what you got to realize, again, like, take this however you want to, but I believe what you got to realize is that, first of all, you're way stronger than anybody that wants to take energy from you. Just by the fact that somebody would want to take energy from you, or all of these things are trying to leech off of you, whatever it is, the TikTok, the sugar, the alcohol, whatever it is, all of these little deals with the devil that get offered to you, the mere fact that you're a target for that already means that you're more powerful than the people that are administering that. Because otherwise, they wouldn't want to get your energy. So that's the first key to realize. But from that point, cultivate this. Get present. And listen to your own intuition. And another way to get there, it's really a myriad of ways that you could even get there, right? You can study other people, you can study my stuff. How I do it, first of all, you gotta get into what has been programmed into you, okay? Really unearthing that programming. Unearthing why you don't feel good enough the way you are right now. Why do you have approval addiction? Like, why would you even care about anybody? Like, why? Like, in terms of what they think of you, or in terms of their approval of what you're doing, right? If you do what you know to be right, what you feel to be right, and then they might disapprove of you, why do you even care about that to begin with? Why would that be natural? Like, who came up with that shit? And of course, some fear maybe, because it's evolutionarily kicked out of the tribe, but why are you anxious about that? Like, nothing is gonna, modern world, like, nothing is gonna happen to you. And even then, like, what's the biggest fear? Oh, you die? Oh my god, you die. While you're like pumping down Cheetos, while you're drinking alcohol, you're like afraid of dying. It's like the fat person sitting at home, like watching a movie about a shark attack, and is like, oh my god, like pumping down alcohol, like a beer and burgers, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so afraid of getting eaten by a shark. I can't believe I'm gonna die. Oh, can't go swim. I'm gonna get eaten by a shark. Well, you're already on the best way to die even faster. Okay, so completely irrational. All right, it's gonna happen anyway. So why would you even be afraid of that? So first, unearthing and letting go is even a loaded word, but reintegrating the things that you disowned about yourself, the things, the traumas, right, which is even like a loaded word as well, but any of the experiences that might have taken you away from doing what you know to be right and changing yourself and having to put on a mask in your childhood is where it starts, but it keeps on if you never examine it into adulthood, where you feel that you got to change yourself in order to get approval from other people, or to avoid being disapproved of, to avoid being kicked out of the tribe. Which were these experiences where in your childhood you felt abandoned? Which were these experiences where in your childhood you felt rejected? Not good enough. Some of them even might be coming up right now. What are they? And along with that, what are the sensations attached to that? How does it make you feel? And instead of running away, which is, in the end of the day, even where the devil comes in, right? Where the bad energy comes in, whether that's in form of TikTok or whatever, right? Named all of them, right? Or a lot of them. But wherever that comes in, it's always attacking you wherever there is a trauma. Because that is the only point where you let it in. You basically have this protection shield around you. Again, this is just a mental model. Doesn't mean that this is actually the case. Could be. Mental model. Protection shield around you, and the traumas are kind of the holes in the protection shield where the devil comes in, okay? Where the bad energy comes in. And what you do when you fully allow yourself to feel that, instead of running away through eating the burger and drinking the beer, right? Even for example, if you take the social environment as an example where you would drink normally, maybe go into it and just allow yourself to be anxious as fuck and cringy and weird. And instead of fighting it, just be that. Just fully embrace it. And funny enough, when you start doing that, that's where over time you will actually stop experiencing it. Because what you're doing is you're simply, if you even take it on a more practical level, you're just reconditioning yourself to not fear that anymore, to prove to your brain, okay, and your body, by the way, give your brain proof. They even say that in CBT, I believe as well, heard that from a friend of mine, I'm not sure, but give your brain proof, not promises, that actually nothing bad is going to happen if the thing that you're most afraid of is going to happen. What I would encourage you to do, even as a little exercise, what you can do is literally just something like this, right, where you go into an environment where there is a lot of people and you just do something that kind of sticks out, like me, what I'm doing right now. What I also did in the beginning when I tried to overcome my social anxiety is just go out to a busy shopping street and just clap my hands very loudly. Do something like that, or do something like the party without alcohol, and just allow yourself to feel all of the feelings instead of trying to run away from them. How about you actually do that? And what you will find is the more you do that, the less you will experience that shit in the future. Okay? So that's the first part, what I would recommend you to do, okay? I always want to kind of give you action steps in these videos, because if you don't take action, nothing's gonna happen, okay? So take action, please. Okay? Second one you can do, this is also very practical, is literally just sink into the perspective of your own death. One of the most powerful exercises you could ever do, one of the most powerful, is literally just, I mean, you can do a death meditation, right, if you want to, or you can just do it by yourself. Doesn't really matter, but sometimes it can be easier to just do it with a guided meditation. But simply lying down and confront yourself, what if I died? What if the ceiling collapsed? What if I got into a car accident right now and this was it? This was it. Even do it right now. This is the end of your life. You're dead. There's nothing coming after this. There is no ego. You can't run. There's nobody to get approval from. All the money, all the status that you were after. Your ego, the desire, it's all gone. You're dead. And from that place, what do you want to do? What do you believe is right? What do you believe is your best version? And can you make a commitment right now to live that? And to stop hiding. I hope you can. And in the end of the day, that's the state that I hope I could kind of get you into with this. And I hope you can take this state into any interaction, whatever it is, that you might have today after watching this video, or maybe it's night, whatever, then tomorrow. I hope you can take that state with you and really start operating from that. Because then, shit gets really, really good. Okay. beyond what you can even imagine right now, probably. Like, really good. Really, really good. Or I believe you can, actually. You got the feeling already. So I hope, again, I could kind of give you a glimpse into that state. I hope even solidify it, right? Really cool. Try to operate from this. It's really cool, okay? So, subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Again, I'm really giving my best in every single one of these videos. This is not a channel where I just make SEO-based content. I might drop that sometimes, right, just to get a little bit more traction on the stuff. But really, when you know it's something real, you know the real shit when you see it, okay? Forgive me for the SEO-based shit that I might be doing sometimes, or if I upload shorts, right, whatever it is. But I'm even gonna probably start doing that as well, although I've been resisting it for a very long time, because I think it's just another part of that fucking hellish energy coming into Earth and shredding your, like, tearing your attention span to shreds. And if you're still watching this, you probably know, because you actually have an attention span, okay? Other than most people. Like, congratulations. Yeah, there's a lot of hope for you. Like, we're doing it, right? But even why I make this is because I have really hope for everybody in the end of the day. So, yeah. I hope I could inspire I hope I could inspire you with this. Again, really giving you the best here. And yeah, I hope you're along for the ride. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of this. Leave a like if you like the video. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram if you want to see kind of the behind the scenes of everything that I'm doing, like kind of the journey. If you want to see my fucking escapades in different countries, okay? I'm just gonna keep traveling. We're going to Petra in Jordan, then back to Germany, and then to Mexico, and then to other South American countries. That's the plan right now. Or Mexico is not actually South America. They get pissed if you say that anyway. But if you want to be along for that, a lot of very great videos coming your way with all of the lessons that I get, just giving them to you. And yeah, I hope to see you along the ride. All right, bye bye.